Be careful out there on the road, guys. Once again, I was cut off at riding to work.
This is a perfect example of having 360-degree vision and awareness around you. Remember, part of the whole OODA loop that we talked about is O for orient. You need to orient yourself within the situation so that you know what's behind you, to the side of you, in front of you, all these different things at all times. This is where head checks and mirror checks and constantly being on alert and not focusing on one thing is really going to make a huge difference when it comes to something like this when it happens. So right away, we're gonna go ahead and utilize the footage we have here. Now this just happened in 2020, so thank you so much for sending this in right away. I really appreciate it. And what we have here is we just have a dash cam, okay? So we don't have the vision of what the driver is doing, but that's perfectly fine because the whole point of this is to understand his 360-degree cone, and this is what I absolutely love from having the view behind us and in front of us. So right away we have traffic, and behind us and in front of us we have multiple intersections. I see a McDonald's over here, so we're gonna have people moving around. And we also have something really interesting here is that we have time of day. So I'm thinking that this is correct, but this is around lunchtime, so you're gonna have a heavy traffic and you're gonna have people going in and out of those McDonald's and all those different places, and they're trying to find places to eat or get back to work. So they're very impatient. So keep that in mind when you're out riding around certain times of days. So we're gonna move forward just a little bit, and I want you guys to realize this is where our situational awareness really needs to kick in. So I paused right here because we really don't have an escape path behind us. If we slam the brakes, maybe the car behind us will stop. Hopefully they do, but just remember that we have a good space cushion though, so that's really important. We have brake lights right in front of us. We also have the semi in front of us. Now typically with these delivery vans or semis, they do apply the brakes, and they do so a long ways before they have to stop. So you'll see their brake lights activate, but sometimes that scares the driver behind them, and they really should be increasing their own space cushion. So be aware of that. So we have brake lights there. We don't know exactly what they're doing. So we're gonna move forward already, and let's go ahead and scroll back just a little bit. We have barely an indication right here. Now this person, I believe they are in the far right lane. So for us as a rider, we're thinking, okay, boom, orange mode right now. That caught my attention. I see a turn signal. Are they going to my lane, which is my path of travel, or are they going into the lane that they should be going into and staying there? So I'm gonna go ahead and while I'm riding, do a quick look, go back. And I'm gonna keep going back and forth, quick look, and because I'm in the orange mode now. I went from yellow, where I'm just zoned in, relaxed, having a good time, orange mode, because this caught my attention, and it's like, okay, what is that? Is that a possible threat? We're not in red mode yet. So that right there should be cueing you in onto something. So right here, he saw it well ahead of time. This is what I really like about what he did. Now, you don't have to push yourself so far off and to where you remove basically the rest of your escape route, but I like the fact that he gave himself more of a space cushion. So this is what's very important, is he gave himself a space cushion, which is gonna let him decide, okay, is he still going to my lane, and then he decides to make some evasive action. So about right here, he moves over. He's like, okay, this person is not slowing down to get into their lane. It's not a left and then straight. It's more like a left. That should really grab your attention. So right now he's still kind of orange, but we're moving into the red stage where he's doing some type of action. Black stage, or I guess you guys have been saying during the live streams, the brown stage where you panic and don't do what you're supposed to do. We'll be using brown stage from now on. He's in the red stage, so he knows what he has to do. He's given himself that space cushion, and he's possibly, I can't tell because I can't see his hands on the primary controls. I can, maybe he's applying the brakes and then possibly downshifting, which is gonna do engine braking. So the deceleration is gonna increase that space cushion along with moving over to the side, which is gonna increase the space cushion from left and right. So right here, we are in the blind spot, so there's not much this driver is gonna do in terms of seeing us, so now it's our job to make sure that we are creating our own safety and space cushion. So he's gonna cut in front of him. That little swervy movement that quite possibly could have been downshifting and applying the brakes, then releasing, allowing the bike to be stabilized. You don't wanna slam those brakes. So he moves over, and this is what I absolutely love right here. So a lot of people, what they typically would do is if they didn't do their 360 degree perception and situational awareness, is that as soon as this happens, it's like, well, I'm supposed to keep going straight. I'm not gonna get in this turn lane like this guy is. I don't care about that. I wanna go straight. So what they'll do is they'll swerve and then get back in their lane and then take off. But take a look at where we are right now in terms of the rear view camera. We have this vehicle right here, and if we just swerved back into our lane, we would have crashed into that vehicle. So this is where understanding your 360-degree cone, if you knew the vehicle was behind you from your previous, head checks, mirror checks, then you knew that's kind of where they're gonna be. So you kind of have this mental picture of like almost like a video game where, okay, that's where they're at, so I'm gonna dodge this, but I know in my mind that they're behind me. I'm gonna get back into position only after I do a head check or I know that they're past me. So in this situation, he's created his space cushion. He has this good gap right in front of this van right here. So it's like, okay, let's keep that. Go ahead and keep that, go ahead and keep that. We're in the gore zone, but remember, we just did an emergency maneuver, so at the end of the day, I'm glad this is here and not the median. So he's like, okay, probably doing a head check at this point. He sees the vehicle starting to come by. He's like, okay, I'm gonna wait. We're good here. Hazard is done. Now this new hazard is here, and then we're gonna move. No vehicles behind me anymore. It's just this vehicle. Now it's past me. He has this really good orientation of his situational awareness, and this is what you have to do. So he's gonna move forward just a little bit, and now he's back in his lane. Now we're on to the next hazards, okay? Now we have this vehicle right here that might turn left in front of us. We have all these different things. We need to be on high alert again and again and again. So at this point, I'd stay in orange mode because, I just had this rush of endorphins and adrenaline, fight or flight. He did a good job fighting. I would maintain my orange mode, and if I absolutely have to, I would pull off. If I'm still, anxiety or whatever it is, panicked, I would pull off and relax a little bit and allow myself to calm down. That way, when I get back on the road, I'm still in yellow stage where I'm enjoying the ride but still zoned in and not focusing on what just happened. So amazing job, man. I really appreciate you sending this footage in. But guys, if you want to help out, support the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. I have all these other videos on the left of your screen for you to watch. Great job, dude. I'm really excited about this one. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you around.